ask you what were the symptoms of the burnout that you were describing, just because I feel like so many persons could probably relate to that. And
Yeah.
I think in the last few years now, it's coming more to the fore where,
Mm-hmm.
persons are realizing that their lifestyles, like, yes, we want to work and we want to be creative and we want to be engaged in things, but persons are realizing that a lot of the, if you want to call it malfunctions
Mm-hmm.
or ill health or things that are not, in line with just that healthy feeling and that feeling
Mm-hmm.
of wellness is kind of has something to do with our lifestyle and the work
Mm-hmm.
environment and those types of
Absolutely.
pressures. So I just feel
Mm-hmm.
like, and I think the more we talk about it, the more it helps. It
Yeah.
helps everyone.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I feel people would be able to relate to that. So I just wonder what kind of
And
symptoms
symptoms.
you
Okay. So
notice.
there were physical symptoms in that I had trouble sleeping. My mind would be racing. I had digestive issues, and I was eventually diagnosed with IBS. I don't know how true a diagnosis that is actually, but that's what they told me. They were like, "Well, we don't know what's wrong with you. Slap that label on you, right?" I was like, "Oh, okay." And just this general feeling of like my question to myself every day was that I was driving to work was there must be a better way. Why am I doing this? Just like this is my lot in life to just, work it for somebody for the next 30 years and then die. Right? Why?
She said,
Why
"This is
am I
my lot
doing
in life."
yeah? Why do I have to do this? I kept saying there must be a different way, there must be a better way. And like one of my mottos is there is always another way, and it came out of that because I believe in my heart that you do not have to follow a particular path that other people set for you, or even something that you thought you wanted. You can change direction, you can create your own journey, and you can create a life that you love, and it does not have to be based on some nebulous there's some nebulous thing that society tells you that you have to do, with the husband and the children and the white picket fence and the 9 to 5 that pays you like 6 figures. A lot of people just realize that that's not what they actually want. That's not is not sustainable for them because you're in too much debt, or you just don't get time to spend with your family. And we have finding alternative ways to make a significant amount of income and still have time for a family and still have time to pursue other interests and still have time to vacation, in the middle of the year instead of, during the school term when your children are free or whatever, or, only having 2 weeks vacation a year. You could vacation every quarter if you want to, every 2 months if you wanted to, right? And I'm not saying that to what should I say, as a cop out in terms of, okay, well, a 9 to 5 is not for you. It depends on what you want, right? Some people, 9 to 5, they like that stability, great for you. Some people prefer, okay, yeah, they have the 9 to 5, but they also want a side business. If that is what works for you, great. Some people, like myself, are just like 9 to 5 is just, I'm allergic, right? That is just not how my body just rejects that completely. And I just have to work for myself, right? This is just how I like helping people. And I think it might be a personality thing too, because um, I'm not an instant gratification kind of person, but I like to see results for the effort that I put in. And I cannot work in a space where you are putting in this effort and they're just like, okay, thanks. And then nothing gets done, right? I don't see point in that, right? There must be a
Yes.
point to the work that you're doing. And I can see an outcome with the work that I do with people now. And so that's one thing. And then the second thing is I firmly, firmly believe, and I've been saying this for years, the Caribbean has way too much talent, skills, and expertise for us to be so accepting of the status quo, right? We don't have to believe or do what it is, what it is other people tell us. Oh, you're too small, or oh, you're just from the Caribbean, and you could never get to this point. You can't build a 6 figure online business, sitting now in Trinidad or Barbados or St. Lucia or Antigua or wherever it is you are. Yeah, you can. Even with the constraints that we have, yeah, we don't have We don't have some of the technology that the US, UK, Canada has as yet, but we're getting there, right? We have what should I say? They move into like mobile currency. They implementing a lot of Bitcoin and not Bitcoin, blockchain technology, that kind of thing. They you can accept money online. A lot of the banks facilitate and online transactions, that kind of thing. So we are, might be slow, but we are getting there, and there are things that you can do even within the context of what we have available to us now to start building an online business that works for you. And the reason why I'm such a proponent of the online space is because it allows you the freedom and the flexibility that you need without tying you to a specific location, right? So if you want to, start a catering business or start something physical, have a product-based business, that's great. That's all well and good. But there is also the opportunity to expand by providing some kind of online service or facilities and introducing I should say an online aspect to your business, because it frees up your time. You can still make money and you don't have to be keeping an eye on that constantly. All these, well, once you have certain systems and processes in place, but right, you don't have to, it's not something where you have to be physically present for it to work all the time. So it is a really good option to supplement whatever income streams that you have at this point in time. And as I said, we have way too much talent that is just languishing, honestly. There's so many people, you have your degree, you have your master's, and you are underemployed or you're unemployed. And I'm like, if you have a computer, a PayPal account, and a bank account, and an internet connection, you can start an online business. Honestly, that is what I believe.
Yeah. And I like that point you made about the job market, maybe not finding a job that's suited to you. And I'm not saying that, okay, if you start a business now, you'll make as much money as if you were in a job in 3 months, because there are a lot of other things that
variables. Definitely. Yeah.
But I do like the point you're making about having that agency within yourself and seeing other options and seeing possibilities where there are things that are available to, I won't say all individuals, because I think with COVID now, it's really has highlighted some of those gaps where, especially like in Trinidad, persons don't have things that, for me, it might seem so second nature to have, like a laptop or internet connection. So I won't say everyone, because we are seeing those places where persons don't have some of these resources. But for a lot of people, they do have these things. And I just like that idea of, there are options there, and you do have agency, and you can take control of putting something out to the world that you have to offer, and opening up that avenue of exchanging value with other persons, even if it might not be a company that is hiring or somebody else that you're waiting for, but you can be proactive and you can make something happen. It's just like just a spark, just to ignite something and get the ball rolling, and just to open up those horizons,
Exactly. And it does not, the thing is, you don't necessarily, in the online space, you don't have to have, some big six-figure business. It could just be, you want to make enough money to be able to pay for a vacation, or to be able to, pay for your children to go to private school, or to be able to help out another family member. So it could be as small or as big as you want it to be, right? Everybody's not cut out for entrepreneurship. Everybody's not cut out to be a business owner. It might just, it might remain just a side business with additional income, but that does not make it any less valuable, right? The point is, like you said, to give people options, to show them that there is the opportunity, if you are in this space, if you have the technology available to you, to be able to do this.
And just to kind of summarize and wrap up this particular segment that I touched on in terms of where you were working at the same time and studying.
Mm-hmm.
How long would you say was that period where you were kind of looking into the symptoms and trying to figure out what was going on before you made a decision
Mm-hmm.
to kind of transition into a different lifestyle framework, if you want to call it?
Yeah, it was about 2 years because I started studying in 2010. I finished in July 2012, and I started my business October 2012. Yeah, so it's about, yeah, probably about 18 months to 2 years where as I said, I'm a researcher, so I was like just devouring stuff about business, and it was about business, but it also was about health. So it was kind of like a holistic approach. And then the conclusion that I came to was that, listen, this context of working in a 9 to 5 is not working for me right now. Let me find a different way to earn a living. And that's when I started the salon. Yeah.
Right. So, what you're talking about just now in terms of online business, I
Mm-hmm.
think when a lot of people hear about it, they get very excited, just as I did actually well, I mean, my story is like everybody's story is different, but
Mm-hmm.
I kind of started dabbling with online things
Mm-hmm.
like maybe a decade ago. But
Mm-hmm.
I think when persons first get wind of the whole
Mm-hmm.
online space and how accessible it is and some
Mm-hmm.
of the opportunities that exist because of this new forum,
Mm-hmm.
that they are really excited and they hear sales funnels, automatic sales, multiple income
Mm-hmm.
streams, make money
Yeah.
while you sleep. And
Mm-hmm. All the typical jargon. Yeah.
I think everybody kind of zooms into this picture perfect Instagram
Yeah.
reel life where it's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, I have my business, I'm making like $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who knows? Every 2 months, every year, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I'm flying over the world.
Mm-hmm.
Money's just flowing in.
Mm-hmm.
And I just wanted to get from your point of view and your experience,
Mm-hmm.
what goes into actually creating a successful online business
Mm-hmm.
and creating funnels that actually it's passive income, yes, but
Mm-hmm.
it's not that you do something
And then you just
and then you just
completely have.
retire and then the money
Yeah.
just comes in. You
Yeah,
have to actually
exactly.
still continue nurturing it.
Mm-hmm. That's
But I
right.
wanted to kind of get
Mm-hmm.
your perspective on, what
Mm-hmm.
are the ingredients to actually have something like this work.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the thing is, you have to be a very determined and dedicated person. This is in terms of like personality and that kind of thing. And you have to be willing to experiment and you have to be willing to try. Right. So this is not okay, you follow this particular formula, this particular prescription, and you set it up and then you just leave it, and you just kind of step back and wait for it to work. A lot of times you hear if you build it, they will come, and I just think that's complete nonsense. Right. You have to build what people want. And the thing is, you have a lot to offer, and there are people who want what it is you have to offer, but you have to frame it in such a way that you, what should I say, light a fire under them to actually compel them to invest with you, right? So it's not just, oh, that's nice, yes, that sounds good, what she's offering, oh, that's cute or whatever. It's, oh my God, I want this and I want it now, right? And that is something that you learn over time, and you have to do research. You have to like I said, you have to experiment. So the first time it may not necessarily work out. You have to try different things. So it might be, usually there are three things that are involved, right? It is your messaging, your design in terms of what the actual funnel looks like, and then the actual components of your offer, right? So I'm getting into a little bit of, digital marketing, well, I don't want to say strategy, but like talk here, right? And the thing is, you don't always create something amazing right off the bat. It is a process of refining and refining and refining. So like I said, just think of it as an experiment. So you test this thing, You see what works, and then you make some changes. You test it again, see what works, make some changes until you get to the point where you know, okay, for any time you put a social media post out there, people are going to join your mailing list, they're going to land on the sales page, and they're going to invest, right? And that is a process, and it may take some people get it right, right off the bat, as I said, and some people it might take them a few months, maybe even up to a year to get it right, right? And the thing is, if that's how business is, right? Your business that you had 2 years ago is not the same business that you have now, right? You are constantly refining things, you're constantly improving things, you're constantly changing things based on what the market wants. So you have to keep that relationship, you have to keep that engagement, and what should I say? Something that I always say, you have no business without relationships and without sales, right? So a lot of times people say, oh, well, all I want to do is coach, or all I want to do is just deliver the thing I'm good at. And I'm like, well, then go work for somebody. Because then you get to deliver the thing that you're good at without having to do marketing and sales and all that kind of thing. If you're running a business, you have to be good at marketing and sales. Even if eventually you outsource that, right? You hire a consultant or some kind of in-house marketing person or whatever. The point is you still have to get good at it, or really good at it, to be able to understand the process of how it works, understand, what should I say, the buyer's journey, understand consumer psychology, that kind of thing, how people are thinking, what people want, what their desires are, what their fears are, what their concerns are. You have to keep talking to people, getting that constant feedback, taking notes of it, and changing your offerings or changing your messaging, even changing your design, because depending on who your audience is, certain things work for them and certain things don't work for them, right? So it's a constant process of just, listening, engaging with your audience, listening to what they have to say and making changes. And it's not the changes you make are not necessarily something that has to be done instantaneously, but it just evolves over time, right? But the thing is, you have to keep listening, you have to keep talking to people. So that's the main takeaway here, that, you really need to make sure you have that relationship, and you don't actually need a fancy sales funnel. And I mean, I'm a strategist, and I'm telling you that you don't need it, right? A funnel could be a simple thing like you make a social media post and you tell somebody to direct message you, and they direct message you, and you send them a form to fill out to purchase something. That's a funnel. A funnel is just the process that someone takes from uh, the process or the series of steps that they take from hearing about your offer to engaging with you about your offer to investing in your offer. That's the long and short of it. So some people have a million steps in the process where they do a webinar, and then they do, they have this whole email sequence, and they have a fancy sales page, and then, they have a cart, and they have an upsell, and then they have a tripwire offer, and, a bunch of other things before you actually finally get to the purchase. And then other people just have a really simple thing where they make a social media post. They tell you, send me a direct message and we'll talk about it more. They have a chat in the DMs, and then they send you a link to their PayPal. They send you a PayPal link to purchase, and then they start working with you. So it could be as simple or as complicated as you want.